This video is sponsored by Christmas trees. Whatever position you hold, whatever might happen to be your stance, on whichever side of the imaginary divide you are pretending to fall, no matter what your perspective is, you, me, we are all together very deeply entrenched in a battle to end all conflicts. Moving into 2017, beginning with a single young man with a broken heart posting sad and sappy poetry about the one that got away, the online faction of the Status Initiative is effectively launched. And excellent writing, though sad and sappy nonetheless, as sad and sappy as it may have been, it did garner attention. And with that, a very particular sort of snowball began to gain momentum. Aided by a relatively small, yet loyal and determined team of carefully selected individuals, the young man ostensibly declares war on the forces what keep our people divided under a single simple premise, that there is no division. We have all been duped, and the time has finally come for us to stand together united and turn the tables on the psychological ailments that have trapped our people in a living nightmare, breeding fear, hatred, disgust, contempt, injustice throughout the course of human history. These people, seemingly random and inconsequential, are destined to become a heavy influence upon the future of mankind. Via the Facebook territories, the initiative gains ground and a vast network begins to build, launching collective intention experiments aimed at altering the fundamental programming of the human community. Touching down in the YouTube arena, an investment is established in constructing a channel that focuses not on building its own audience, but on networking other channels of the like in an effort to build a collective the likes of which has yet to be seen. These channels, some small, some large, some vastly enormous, all share a common interest, common goals, and a common enemy. What we need now is for these proud, loyal, determined persons to sound off together, united, responding to the call to arms that this particular channel has presented. With the true enemy unveiled, it is time now for us to fight back. then to you, lovely Madam Super Sweetie Cheeks, Megan Lee Ramsey.
Hello. Megan Sweetie Cheeks Ramsey here. Been told or asked to explain my purpose, I guess, with the channel, whom me and my very close friend Donovan are doing together. And at first it kind of started out just helping my friend do a thing that he's enthusiastic about, which is fine and good and whatever, and mostly it's just to kind of get him to not bug me, but in a more general sense, I feel like the work, quote, that he's trying to accomplish is indeed very noble and quite insightful, in a grander sense, not just the YouTube thing, but across the board in IRL and on other, platforms. But I would say that my general feeling about the whole thing, and I'm happy to be here and happy to help and happy to discuss my feelings, but my feeling is that it seems as though people are wearing a bit thin in the faith department. I don't mean that in like a religious sense in any way. I think if you've watched any of our videos, you're perfectly aware that the religious connotations of certain words aren't how we use them. But just faith in a grander sense of, one's life and one's purpose in life. There's always got to be that little bit of faith, right? A leap of faith. Everyone comes to that at one point or another, and if you don't take it, you'll never know. But aside from that, it looks as though people are very combative all over the place. I think it just kind of seems that way by the means in which we gather our news and media and that kind of stuff. I don't think that's majority of people. But maybe that's on purpose. I don't know. It's made to look like, a grand war, kind of that's ever continuing throughout the generations, but I don't think that's the reality of the situation. I think it just looks that way, and I think it scares people. And, your fight or flight kicks in, no matter if it's a comment on YouTube or a Facebook post or an actual interaction with other people in your daily life. When you're scared, there's no clarity there, and it just kind of makes the problem worse. So my hope is that people could find more faith in their hearts and their daily lives. And so I am here having nice little chats with my buddy every week to try and put that out there, Act with love, not fear. Have faith in yourself, and if you can't have faith in yourself, then find something to have faith in. No matter how big or small, it really helps. And that's pretty much my only intention, I suppose. Just, if anybody, even one person, catches the gist of some of the stuff that we've been talking about, and it maybe helps them clear up some info, or even causes the pursuit of more information, then we would have done our jobs, I guess, in that sense. So that's my message to all of you. Go forth and have faith. And, yeah, don't act out of fear. Everybody's feeling it. We're all feeling it sometime or another. So it doesn't help. I don't know, it causes a lot of problems, I think. It's hard to step back and have a bigger perspective, especially when you're just doing the daily minutia of daily life, going to work and grocery shopping and taking care of your kids and making dinner and blah 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 and all that crap. It's easy to lose perspective in the midst of that forest, but if we can pop somebody's rubber band to snap back and have some perspective, even just once or one person or one time, then I feel like that's a really great thing that we could accomplish. So just here to help. Listen if you want. Don't if you don't want to, I suppose. And we'll just be continuing to do our thing until we can't no more. Mwah.
Hola, mi familia. Spotters, operatives, lost souls and laymen's alike. Most especially greetings extended to members of the directive and our target assets. Some of you might be wondering why it is that I have gathered you all here today. Well, obviously, firstly, Happy New Year to everybody. This year is a big deal. I've stated this a great many times to anybody involved with many of the groups, if not all of the groups. I've tried to make it clear that 2019 going into 2020 is a big deal, and I'm going to explain why a little bit. Again, you'll hear in this video, provided I have the time. The initial clip was chewed up a lot of space, and we're still dealing with the space difficulty, but we're going to get that handled very soon because, I mean, firstly, I wanted to extend an expression of the overwhelming sense of gratitude that I have for every single one of you. You guys are spectacular. Every one of you that's involved, every one of you that bothered to show up here and watch this video, you're all fantastic, and you've done so much good already. You've done such great things that, I mean, it would take me another year to make the videos explaining precisely what you guys have accomplished without even knowing it. You guys are amazing. Every one of you, I love you just so very fucking much, I can't even explain it. And I'm so grateful for every last one of you, every last little thing that every one of you does. Anyways, I also wanted to display a bit of an indication as to the potentiality and the level of effort that can be expected from the channel going into the future. We are going to be investing a great deal into this now that I'm able to accumulate extra funding. We are going to be heavily investing in making this channel better for you guys in any way that we possibly can. And you know, we are going to work towards boosting the collective, making progress here, making headway. And now that we have, in fact, launched this particular investigation and identified what's likely the source of the problems that we face as a culture, as a global community. And, of course, we have the catalyst events to address. We do have a plan. There's a plot in play. And just, it's been working out. You know, it's been...
You guys, you don't see it, you work with me, you do what you can, you do what I ask you to, what I direct you to, and you see things get done from time to time, but I'm sitting back here watching the bigger picture, and it's playing out marvelously. We do need for you guys to get, and I've stated this so many times, I know it's boring, it's bunk, you don't want to hear it, but now is the time. Now is the time we need for you guys to jump in and help. And I think we've gone well out of our way to prove to you that we are trustworthy and that our intentions are noble and worthy of your attentions. For the target assets, most particularly, obviously, Madam Kimberly from Are You Awakening, I wanted to formally introduce myself and, you know, by extension, what it is that we are building here, that, you know, myself and my partner, Sweetie Cheeks, my buddy, Dick, are intending to accomplish. The collective is quite an impressive feat already. We've managed to acquire so very many different persons that are all just powerful beyond words, and the potential in our endeavor, should we actually manage to collaborate and to come together, is outstanding. I used this particular song in the opening of this video. Some of you might be wondering what the significance of that is. Well, it was that song, hearing that song, when I was so down and out, when I was beaten up, when I had that broken heart and I was in such a dark place. Hearing that song is what tipped the scale and pushed me over the edge. That song just caused for my heart to shatter, and I had such a response, such a heavy reaction to that's what caused for me to break open. That's what caused for that heart chakra to break open, and for me to let loose, and for the real me to come out, for me to remember myself and become the person that you guys know today. That song is what cracked the lock on my cage and set me loose from the prison I had been living in all that time, up to that point, really. But also, the song speaks very clearly a simple message, you know. I've been calling out to you guys. We've been calling out to you guys to get involved here, to jump in, to be, you know, operative in this effort for quite some time. And a lot of you have, a lot of you do. We have done crossover events, we've done collaborations, but we really need to get on point here and keep our eyes on the ball and you know, take advantage of every opportunity that's given to us, because 2020 is a big fucking deal. For Madam Kimberly, you spoke to what effectively amounts to you know, a measure of practical time travel in your video. I'm not sure that that's what you were trying to get across, but it is in fact what you managed to get across effectively. And this effort, the initiative, and everything that we've been doing, it's kind of based in a certain... I'll tell this story in the Approaching Nowhere course, but to sum this up for Madam Kimberly, I don't know if you... Obviously, you very likely believe in prophetic dreams and such. I have had prophetic dreams my entire life. Most every dream that I have about a realistic event does in fact happen, and this has been occurring forever and ever for me. It's something that's become so commonplace I don't even question it anymore. My dreams do come true, and some of them are not so welcome. That in a manner of speaking, they're not to be appreciated. But one particular dream that I had, we're going to say this is a dream. I don't believe this to be a dream. I believe this to be something wholly different. In a manner of speaking, that personally I believe everything's a dream. some ways, but I had an experience that I saw a world leading up to this point, just actually up to the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2019. I saw a future from way back in the past. I kind of lived a life through this experience that I had, this prophetic dream, you could say, if you want to, if it makes it easier for you to assimilate the value I'm trying to get across, you can call it a dream. But I experienced a future leading up to now where things had gotten so rough, things had gone so wrong, that seeing New Year's here, moving from 2019 into 2020, was an unforeseeable circumstance. It was highly unlikely that we would be celebrating this holiday, as it were. There were various factors that came into play that caused for this circumstance to occur, this detrimental crisis, in fact, that the world had come to know as its commonplace, everyday reality. And I've made note of these, and I've made note of the catalyst events. I've made note of certain events transpiring that need to be altered, that have been altered, and I've made note of some events that have transpired that didn't the first time around, if you will. And what changes have occurred that have caused for us to come into where this time that we are in now, where things are going very well, things are actually beginning to turn around, and we are winning this war. And again, this war is, the greatest foe lies within the self. This is a war against negativity. This is a war against division. This is a war against all of the tricky little, detrimental factors that come into play regarding social programming, regarding, culture in general, politics, all of it. And of course, again, we'll be attending to the catalyst events to make clear precisely what we're speaking to, but for now, I need you guys to know that what we're doing here, it's already been hugely successful, and it's made, I could say changes. You might not refer to as changes because you might not believe that this experience I had is real, but in my mind, from my perspective, we've already made changes that result going into the future in spectacular circumstances, and we are going to do a hell of a lot of good. We're going to change the fucking world. We just need to start working together more proactively for the target assets. Should they actually be watching this, we need for you guys to pitch in. We're not asking for much. We're just asking for you to respond, to talk to us, we're just asking for you to coordinate. We're asking for you to just talk to me. Talk to me, talk to Megan, talk to Soul Mechanics, and see where we can take it from there. We do have plans. We do have plots. We can explain them to you, and we can see if you're agreeing. And if you are, we're going to make some serious waves here. We need to be making an effort at working together. This is not an every man for himself situation, that sort of mentality that I'm just going to work on my own thing, I'm going to, try to take care of myself over everything else, that it's that sort of mentality that puts us in the fucking holes that we are in. We are not divided. The purpose of this, the purpose in this game is to realize that, to come together, to start collaborating as a global community, as a species, and work together to move forward. Because should we actually decide to accept that, to work together as one, and to drop the bullshit dramas, the bullshit politics, the ridiculous childish toys that we've been playing with for so long, should we decide to drop this charade of a paradigm we've been living in and actually work towards evolving as a culture, we will, very fast. Things will pick up pace like you've never seen before, and we will see changes occur that you likely never would have thought possible. But that's pretty much it. That's what I needed to get across. I love you guys, every one of you, even those of you who don't know me. You know, you're all family, and I'm really looking forward to meeting with those of you that decide to. Those of you that don't, be prepped to get bugged for eternity, because we're here for the duration, and we're not going to give up on trying to get you guys to work with us. So that's that. So something extra I should like to note that I'm going to want to clip in here, largely for the purposes of practicing that, because now that I've figured out how we can clip things and edit things, that's going to be, you know, you see a lot of that with the bigger YouTubers. They tend to clip their shit together, likely because they make a lot of mistakes and they have to, you know, fix it in post. But I should like to note, most especially for the target assets and for the directive, but for everybody that cares to be involved here, to help out in any way, the next move that we make is a big one. We're going to be reaching out to, you know, some very, very expansive branches of the territories we've been working in, and we're going to be making a solid attempt at dropping some bombs here, really hitting hard in this endeavor, making some serious headway, and we need for you guys to back us up. Just keep up with the channel and, you know, follow our lead. As I've always stated, you can present leads yourself. Every one of you is a director in your own right, and you can take the lead, and you can give us any contributions you make to this channel. We will make use of. It belongs to you. This channel belongs to every spotter out there. You know, our audience, our people, our spotters, to everyone who watches. In watching the video, you effectively become part owner of Soul Mechanics, and it is yours to do with as you please. Just post a comment, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to present, arguments, directions, considerations, hopes, dreams, whatever. Just pitch in, and this will become bigger and bigger as we move along. But the very next move we make is very important, and we really we need for you guys to get active here, help out. All you have to do is like the videos, share the videos, you know, extend an invitation to anybody else who you believe might benefit from it or might enjoy it, might care to be involved in it. Whatever you guys contribute, it will become a part of this. So that, you know, if you think that it doesn't amount to much right now, that's because you guys haven't placed any pieces in play. You haven't been working towards building this machine to your own liking. But we are going to be investing in it. We are going to be working on just generally improving the quality and the quantity, improving the overall everything of Soul Mechanics. And, you know, you guys, every one of you, are a contributing factor in its growth and its construction. So yeah, that's that. We will return to the past now. Happy New Year. Very happy New Year. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for attending. Kila Salai, Terbi Uni Siari. Namaste.